A good leader doesn't force you to follow them. Instead, they create situations where you want to follow them. That applies in all aspects of life, including love and relationships. Let's get into it. What up, y'all? I'm Christopher Markland, and welcome to my review/analysis of episode 6 of season 6 of Ready to Love. Now, as I do with all of my reviews, I don't just regurgitate what you've already seen on each episode, nor am I here to give y'all tea and all that other. That's not my thing. Instead, what I do is I take the situations on the show, the people on the show, and we use them to talk about love, relationships, dating, marriage, all of that good stuff. So if you like how I'm doing it, please be sure to like, be sure to comment down below, because I definitely want to hear what you guys have to say, and also subscribe to the channel.
Last week, the women had the power to eliminate, so they sent our brother Zoe home. Now the power to eliminate is in your hands. But let me tell you, what I hear from the ladies, y'all making it harder than it need to be.
So this week, the fellas are in control, and I hate that I didn't get a chance to review last week's episode because there were a lot of things on there that, man, I really, wish I got to, wanted to dive into. And one of those things being leadership. There were a couple of things that I saw, especially with the scene involving Zoe and Sharice, not necessarily just for that particular episode, because even that was some bullshit to begin with, but more along how the other people in that scene, how they reacted. Now, I am not upset at all that Zoe went home for a lot of reasons. I just wasn't feeling that dude to begin with. You can go back to my previous review. It's just his energy. It just seemed fake, and it was kind of weird that a dude I was talking about Sharice being fake, he never came across as real to me.
When it comes to love, you get back what you put in it. This week, I want you to make them hearts flutter. Take these women out on some romantic dates. I'm talking about some thoughtfulness, some consideration, and with that, maybe some vulnerability.
You do get what you pour in, but it all depends on how shallow a vessel you're pouring into. This particular season, there doesn't seem to be a lot of genuine connections being made. Now, there are a lot of attractions per se. You can see that people do like each other, but as far as a connection, it doesn't seem to be a lot of that. If you go back to previous seasons of the show, there were connections, especially here it is, we're 6 episodes in. So of course the timeline's a little bit askew, but okay, 6 weeks, 6 episodes, let's just call it 6 weeks. So here it is, 6 weeks, a month and a half in, and there doesn't seem to be any real connections. Like, let's go back. At this point, you had Joelle, you heard me, and Vernisha. You had Joy and Jay. Hell, you even had Camille and Cornelius, whatever kind of, sort of, maybe connection they have. It was still something. I don't know what the hell it was, but at least it was something. This season, not so much. Like I said, there are plenty of attractions where people, you can tell, like each other, be it, on a sexual level, be it on an emotional level. There's some kind of attraction, but no real connections as far as I can see this season.
Tommy is telling the fellas that we need to bring in some romance, and it made me feel good because I'm already doing that. I was looking around saying, these brothers ain't doing the same thing.
He's right. He has been the most romantic, quote unquote, out of all of the other fellas. However, he's been romantic to everybody, to all of the ladies that he's had a connection with. I get it. He's a romantic fellow. However, all of those romantic gestures that he's doing kind of diminishes the value. If he's doing that to everybody, and that goes back to what I was just saying as far as attractions versus connections. It's like he's doing that for everybody, so therefore the value of it is not as much. If everybody had a diamond, then the value of the diamond, it'll just be another rock.
Thank you. When LJ walks in, he has roses, and I'm like, oh, LJ, you make a girl grin. So beautiful. Quite the gentleman. LJ is not the type of person that I date, but he's present and he's a good time. This is gonna be a really cute date.
I don't know what it is about Sharice that I just don't care for. I guess you can chalk it all up to first impressions, because the first impression that I had of her was like, yeah, no thanks. But I do like the fact that she is stepping outside of her box, because hell, we all have a type. And there's certain things that we're attracted to, be it body size, body type, complexion, whatever the case may be. There's something that we like, and we always tend to go towards that. Now, you cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. So I do like the fact that she is at least engaging other men outside of what it is she's usually attracted to. Hope it works out for her.
And that was so fun. I haven't done that since like 20 years.
Yeah, I used to go salsa dancing all the time with my friends and having a good time. I love the culture, I love everything. So how was your weekend?
It was fun. Went out on the boat.
Oh, I was out on the boat too, so it was good. Yeah, so tell me, what did you guys sail to?
We went all around.
Yeesh. That transition from the dance floor to where they're leaning up against the wall, casually talking to each other, that was forced, just as the conversation that they had was forced. And the reason for that is because LJ cannot hold up his end of the conversation, no matter who it is he's conversing with. If you recall a couple episodes back when he was speaking with Shakira, where he was struggling to maintain the conversation and to keep it going. Now, in that particular conversation, you can blame it on the alcohol. However, now that's not an issue. He's still struggling to uphold his end of the conversation. Now, there's certain things that as a man, you either have it or you don't. You can't fake it. And that masculine charisma is one of those things. He's a nice dude. He seems to be a decent guy, whatever the case may be, but he doesn't have that masculine it thing. And that is going to be problematic for him dealing with a woman like Charisse, who's already said that she intimidates men. So if he's not able to, talk to her with any kind of confidence, it ain't gonna work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you got planned for the rest of the week?
I don't know. Just like probably a little bit of work, go to Pilates. Yeah.
What else is going on?
I don't really know. Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the interview portion of their date. Now, you're on a date with that person, so obviously you are trying to get to know them. You want to learn more about them and in turn have them learn more about you. But one of the things that you don't do is to just ask them question after question after question, because then it starts to become intrusive. It puts that person on the defensive. And at the end of the day, it's just damn lazy. It shows that you don't know how to give and take. Conversations have a certain energy to them, a certain just way of moving. And if you're not able to move with that, then you come across as stiff, you come across as just boring, and that's how he is right there. And it also is lazy because it shows that you're not listening to what that person is saying. Instead, you're just, as soon as they finish speaking, you ask another question. Ask another question. You don't follow up, you don't dig into detail, you're just asking questions, it seems like, for the sake of asking questions.
So what are we doing next? What's like an ideal date for you?
I don't want to tell you what to do.
Okay.
I want you to think of it.
On this date, we definitely had some good vibes, but I definitely wish she would have made more of an effort to connect. Being intentional is important.
Yes, you have to be intentional. However, LJ is in no way, shape, manner, or form a leader. Now, he's gotten by up to this point because the women like him because of his boyish charm. He's a nice dude. However, in dating, there comes a point in time where you have to take control. Now, I'm not saying that the dude needs to go full on caveman and hit her ass upside the head with a club and then drag her off by her hair. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that he does need to lead, and that means he needs to know where he is going and, more importantly, where he is taking her. If you can't even take the lead and formulate a plan for the evening, how can she then trust that he's going to be able to take the lead when it comes to formulating a plan for their lives together?
This does feel like what we're going through right now.
What is your 2 and your 3?
I know a 1 and a 1, and he's sitting in front of me.
It's a great answer.
If you've watched any of my reviews up to this point, you know that one of the things I always say is if you are on a one-on-one date with a person, no matter how many other connections that they have, none of that shit matters. What matters right then and there is the fact that you have that person one-on-one, no distractions, no interruptions. So it is up to you to take advantage of that moment. I don't care if they've got 10 other connections. It doesn't matter because it's just you and that person. So you take full advantage of that. You make sure that the impression you leave with them is one that is so unforgettable that they literally forget about the other connections, and it's all about you moving forward, and they're like, damn, I had such a good time, I want to see them again. Jamila took full advantage of her date with Randall right then and there, and I like how she pivoted away from the question to where it's like, yeah, I ain't even gonna talk about other connections, I'm gonna talk about us. This is what I'm looking for, this is what I want, I like you, I want you, that's all that matters, and that's what she did in that moment. She took advantage of it.
Make trips. That makes you happy?
Immediately.
So you talk about your mom a lot. Am I anything like you brought home before?
You two are very similar.
Oh.
Like, she got 20 personalities at times.
20 personalities?
Now, this is a good example of a date where you're not asking interview style questions in order to get to know somebody, but you're using what they say in order to learn more about them. I also like how Jamila, what she did, she reinforced the fact that, hey, I want to spend more time with you. I also want to, you know, when you go back to your hometown and visit, I want to be there with you. But the way that she asked the question about, hey, what other kinds of women have you brought home to meet your mother? Which in asking that question, she's trying to get an idea as to, okay, what is Randall's type? Because like I said, we all have a type. So I like how she did that right there. And it was well done, because she's putting on a masterclass right now as far as, you know, how to get to know somebody and to, you know, imprint on somebody. I like what she's doing, and I like how she's moving right now.
You speak of the future like that brings a little bit of peace.
I believe in speaking things into existence.
Speak on it then. Speak on it.
I've been speaking.
I've been doing a lot of work on myself lately, and this right here is something I've especially been focused on, which is speaking things into existence. Once you say something out loud, you put the onus not only on yourself, but on the universe in general to make what it is that you said come into fruition. I will say this though, before you even speak the words, you have to have the mindset. In other words, your mind has to be focused so that your words will then follow what it is you're thinking. I had a really, really good friend of mine. She turned me on to Sadhguru. And one of his teachings, one of his lessons is about the Kalparuksa, which is, you know, the Indian or the yogi term for the wishing tree. I dropped the link below. I really want y'all to watch it, because it's watching that video spoke to me, because your mind, our minds are powerful things. And the same goes for dating as well. The power of being confident, the power of leadership, taking control of the situation. There is a huge difference between you saying, hey, I would like to take you out. How about we meet up at XYZ Lounge or, you know, such and such restaurant at 8 o'clock. I would love to do that. As opposed to, man, I sure would like to take you out. Where would you like to go? I can meet you there. What about 7? Maybe 8 works for you. There's a difference in the confidence, and all of that comes from your mindset of knowing, hey, I'm very interested in getting to see you. I'd love to do something with you, and then taking it from there.
So you know I asked her to make a label for us.
Did you really?
I did. Olive juice.
Wow.
We have an insider about olive juice, which when you mouth that, it looks like I love you. And I was being intentional with that.
I'm not sure if you caught the look that Randall gave Jamila when she said she called ahead, but it was truly priceless. A lot of men feel that they have to do everything when it comes to courting and dating. And also they feel that the things that they do aren't really appreciated. And what happens then is you have the pendulum swing from one way to the other, and you have men like Justice who say, yo, I'm not gonna spend any money until I know that things are a little bit serious and we're both interested in each other. And that's when I'll start doing more, as opposed to doing just the basics, as it were. Now, being intentional as a woman doesn't mean that you're just saying, all right, I'm here, I'm available, I'm ready to date kind of thing, and, you know, letting the man know that you are available and you're ready. It's not a matter of that. There is a matter of you doing certain things to show that, hey, I am not only just a good person, I'm not only just a nice person, but I am also here to do certain things for you, and just to show you that, hey, I appreciate you, I appreciate who you are, and we can work together as a team, because you don't have to put in all the work. We're going to be here working together. That is a huge thing that most men are looking for.
Do you feel like you could fall in love, or you are falling in love?
I feel like that's the whole point of the label, right?
Oh, you caught on.
I thought that was the point.
Definitely an olive juice moment.
Lucky.
Most people are aware of the flight or fight responses to trauma. However, there's two others, freeze and fawning. We've seen a couple situations, I want to say at least two, right? The one right now with Jamala, and also with the whole King Randall situation, right? It's like when that happens, what Randall tends to do is just go along with it, or he doesn't fight it per se. I will say this, I appreciate Jamala taking the lead, taking the initiative, and being intentional. However, how you start is how things will be, and is ultimately how things will end. You cannot force certain situations, nor can you force someone to do certain things. What she did right there was she's like, hey, give me a kiss. That's not the same as him initiating wanting to kiss her. She asked him to do something and he did it. That's not the same thing. And if you read too much into it, you're going to set yourself up to be hurt.
Thanks. Woo! This kiss means something. This kiss is solidifying what it is that we're doing and where he wants to go. And I like it.
That is precisely what I'm talking about. That's not where he wanted to go, because if it was, he would have initiated the kiss. He would have, at the very least, gotten consent for a kiss. Hey, it's cool if I really want to kiss you, something along those lines. He didn't. What happened was she asked him to do something. Hey, give me a kiss. That is no different than she said, hey, hand me the salt. He did it. He handed her the salt. He gave her a kiss. It wasn't something that he initiated. Not saying that he didn't want it, but what I'm saying is he didn't do it. He didn't lead. He wasn't the leader in letting it be known that, yo, I want to do this. So now what we have is a situation where Sharice thinks it's deeper than it actually is. Again, I'm not saying that he didn't want to kiss her. What I'm saying is he didn't initiate it, so therefore it's not as strong a feeling within him as it is within her.
It felt really good to kiss Jamala, especially after the candle making date. She was super open.
We put this on everything.
But I am still interested in Trinika and Kayla, so this puts me in a tough spot.
Again, I hate to keep hammering this point home, but men control access to relationships. Women control access to intimacy, all the way from holding hands to kissing, all the way to sex. A woman controls access to her body, whereas the man controls access to the relationship. Jamala gave him permission to access her lips via a kiss. However, Randall has not given her access to a full-on relationship. So yes, the kiss may have been a big step for them, as it were, but it's a larger step for her than it is for him.
This week, Tommy wanted the fellas to be more romantic, so of course I chose to be active. I invited Looney, Shakira, and my boy Justice on a trampoline date.
I'm a pretty romantic dude. Hell, I've even written a couple romance novels. Now, I've helped, a couple of my homeboys put together like a date night or plan a special anniversary date or something like that. I've done all of those things. And one thing I can honestly say is that I have never, ever in a million years considered an outdoor date in hot ass Miami on some trampolines to be a romantic date idea. I don't know. It just hasn't. That's not on my radar of things that I would consider to be romantic. If y'all think that's romantic, y'all let me know, but I don't think so.
Let's get to it. And squeeze. Nice. 1, 2, twist. Oh, damn. Okay. 1, 2, feet back.
Oh, yeah.
Feet in. Stand up.
Hold up.
My man,
Yeah.
I'm loving what you're doing.
I
I
like
love
it,
that
bitch.
you
I'm
be
trying
active. What's
to
going on with you?
man, a little back.
Man, again, if this is an idea of a romantic date, then y'all, I've been missing it all these years. Now, I guess Justice just didn't get the memo for the attire for this romantic date, but I feel him when it comes to that back pain because y'all, dating in your 30s and 40s, it does come with its risks. And medical waivers aside, you got to be careful out there when you're dating. You need to know your limits and know that, you know what, there's certain things you cannot do as you get older.
See that big ass cruise ship coming. You ever been on a boat?
I actually used to work for a carnival. I've been on the boat, yes.
Oh.
Yes,
well,
to the
it was free,
Bahamas.
wasn't it?
I go pay.
Okay, Justice Jr., calm down.
Going for free.
My kind of price.
And this is another good example of how you can get to know somebody on a date without asking them interview style questions. You use the people or the things, around you as conversation starters. In this case, Justice asked, he saw the cruise ship and then said, hey, have you been on the cruises, whatever. And that opened up, now he learned something about her. Yeah, I used to work for Carnival, which is actually used in one of my books. But anyway, he used that situation, kind of like how I just used that to talk about, anyway, as a shameless plug. So you use the things around you in order to get to know them, get to know more about them. And also that cruise ship, he could have taken it in so many different directions. Hey, see that cruise ship, do you like to travel? Oh, you do? Where have you been? What's the places that you like? What's your least favorite cruise experience? Any number of things in order to get to know more about her, but also to gain an insight into her personality based on the answers that she gives and the way it is that she gives them.
I haven't seen you since the white party. A lot went down that day.
It did?
For me, yes. I walked away and I cried, but
Hey, I'm sorry.
made the most of it.
I am a champion for therapy. I am a champion for all of us going to get the help that we need, not only for our physical, as far as, get you a trainer, as far as our spiritual, like I referenced Sadhguru earlier, but also for our mental, meaning go get you a good therapist. But there are times within this show up to this point where it's like Shakira leads with her trauma. I'm in no way minimizing it. I am no way in any way, shape, manner, or form doing that. But I am saying it's like, man, it can be a bit much. If you lead with something, you think that may be your strong suit, or you may be using it to cover up something else. But this is starting to become too much for me.
It's all good. A lot of different people, a lot of different personalities.
That's the hard
And
part.
I think a lot of people are taking this as like a competition in the sense of, let me do some side, underhanded, it's not necessary.
To try to win somebody over. I'm sorry that you had an emotional event. I would want to help you
In
out.
all
You know what I mean?
honesty, it was rough.
Again, you have that person in front of you, so you take advantage of it. Now, I get it. Her and Swayze didn't necessarily have that romantic spark when they first, interacted with each other. In fact, it was just the opposite. She was like, yo, he's a bit too immature for me. I understand all that. However, the man is there. You have a conversation about him. I don't think that he invited her on that romantic date in the hot Miami sun on some trampolines just for them to be talking about other things. And I hope she didn't accept that invitation just to be talking about other people and other things, instead of using that time, accepting the invitation, like, hey, you know what? He invited me on a date. Let me get to know Swayze, and then also let me use that opportunity so that he can get to know me. Instead, they're over there talking about stuff. She's bringing up stuff that ain't got nothing to do with nothing when it comes to them building a connection together.
Stepping on the stage and we rock the show, and everybody in the crowd's like, go, go, go.
All right, y'all. This may sound a bit haterish. I'm just saying, but what is this man's tank top budget? Because it's like every other scene, this dude is wearing a whole different tank top. I get it. They're in hot ass Miami and they are comfortable. So, tank tops are more comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Especially when you might have to happen upon a romantic trampoline date in the middle of a park somewhere. I get it. I'm just saying. Does he have like a tank top for every occasion? Maybe he may have, like, say, if he's got like a black tie affair or whatever, he may have his tuxedo tank top. I don't. Let me stop. I'm just saying. Damn, bro, put on a shirt.
Made a little time for your girl. I know you got your hands full.
Hands full what?
You tell me.
Nah, you
Let
got
me
your
get my
hands.
drink. There's a strong attraction between us, but I don't think that he's consistently showing me the effort that he's showing Brandy. So I just wanted him to know that I don't think that he's invested in the connection.
Again, why is she worried about anybody else? She has one job, one mission right then and there, because there is nobody else. It's just her and Mike one-on-one. The rest of the world should cease. The only thing, like I said, her mission is to make sure that the impression that she leaves with him after their date, after they're, spending time together, the impression she leaves with him is so great that Brandy or anybody else that he may have a connection with cannot overcome that, because it's like all he can do is think about, damn, I had such a good time with Kayla, can't wait to see her again, and he's just waiting for anybody else to finish talking so he can, you know, call up Kayla or do whatever, because that's the impression she left. Whenever I hear a commercial, and I've said this before, whenever I hear a commercial for, say, an auto manufacturer, a truck, for instance, like, you know, yo, we're better than such and such, because anytime I hear them mention their competition, I know that the competition is better. If you are the leader, if you are the product leader, if you are the one that everybody else is trying to catch up to, you're not going to look back and be like, yeah, see them, we're better than them. Because no, what you're going to do instead is you're going to be like, hey, we are the best because we do this, this, and this. Your competition is going to be like, hey, we need to do that, that, and that in order to keep up with you. You don't look back at your competition. You're always looking ahead. So if Kayla is mentioning, or anybody else that's on a one-on-one and they're talking about somebody else, they're worried about somebody else, and it's a form of insecurity. If you know you the shit, there's no reason for you to be talking about somebody else.
So you're 35 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And never been engaged?
No one has ever proposed. Never even been in a real relationship.
Why not?
It's just I haven't come across a person who wants to be like genuine with me. It's just been a lot of games.
Again, women control access to sex, men control access to relationships. So whenever I hear a woman say that she just hasn't met the right one, or, you know, all the men she meets just, you know, aren't genuine, whatever the case may be, that's got nothing to do with her. It's about the men. And if they don't feel that they want to wife her, then she won't be somebody's wife. Now, I'm not in any way saying that, you know, there aren't a lot of dudes out there that are full of shit. I concede that point. What I am saying is that it's not up to her to meet the right man. It's up to that man to come and want to marry her. I'm sure that she's met plenty of men who may have been the potential perfect husband for her, but for whatever reason, she may have overlooked them. Maybe the timing wasn't right, whatever the case may be. All that matters is if that man wants to marry her, then it's that man. It's got nothing to do with her saying, okay, I'm ready to be married. It's up to the man to be like, hey, I want to marry you.
Do you get a little nervous though? Because I don't think you got like a solid connection yet with nobody.
I don't know about that.
What's the other guy's name? Call him 6'9".
Don't do that. See, try to act like he irrelevant.
What is the name?
Randall.
Randall's my guy.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm shocked when the first thing that he asks me is about what's going on with Randall. Bro, like, let's focus on us.
Insecurity is not an attractive trait. I don't care how tight the jeans it may fit in or how snug the tank top that it's wearing may be. Insecurity is not cute on anybody. I don't understand that Mike, who literally a few minutes ago had this woman place her plump ass in his face so close that he could smell the sweat of the Asian child that was stitching the denim together. I just don't get it. He's worried about the wrong thing when it comes to who she kissed and none of that shit matters. He's worried about the man that isn't there instead of focusing on the woman that is there, right there in his face. Don't get it.
Last time I was in a relationship or last time I was in love? She was Colombian.
Okay.
And the reason that she stood out amongst all the rest, she was vulnerable with me.
Okay.
And she created a platform for me to be vulnerable as well. We broke up mutually, but it was good preparation for me, I think, for my wife.
I don't know what it is about Samson. I just can't put my finger on it. It's something. But anyway, taking what he said, taking him at face value, taking what he said at face value, he is 100% right. There's always something to be learned from your past relationships, be it good or bad. It doesn't matter how they ended. People are in your life for a reason, and there's something to be taken from that. There's no saying that if you don't learn your history, if you don't know your history, then you're going to be doomed to repeat it. So no matter what may have happened with a relationship, be it ended in divorce, be it was just a failed relationship, y'all broke up, whatever the case may be, there's something to be taken from that person as far as what they brought to your life, how you interacted with them, how the relationship went, whatever. There's something to be taken, some lesson to be learned that can then be used to make you a better person, to make you a better man, a better woman, so that way you present as a better person for the next individual that comes into your life, and that then you can have a better, healthier relationship.
What
What you scared of?
Nah, but I don't want those guys' lips on my lips.
Oh, so that's what this is about. Oh, wait. Wait, what happened to I don't care about your other connection?
Knowing that you kissed 2 guys already, Zoe and Randall, that's too much. So I had to put some tape around my lips.
Bruh, come on now. This don't make any sense. I can understand if Kayla had been tonguing down those dudes to the point that she was able to tell what they had for breakfast yesterday, but that's not what happened. She gave each one of them a kiss. Now, I don't understand why he's worried about any of that. It seems like he's more worried about what we, the audience, or what everybody else might think, instead of worrying about really and truly pursuing something serious with Kayla. I don't understand what the issue is right here. They're grown people doing adult stuff. I don't get it.
Both like hesitant. I know I am. What I like most about Kayla is she definitely knows how to be engaging. She's sexy, she knows what to say, how to say it. But my status with Brandy was still strong. So at this point, I don't know what to do.
I'll come see you after they leave.
I still get a kiss.
Get the out of here.
All of that had nothing to do with anything with her kissing anybody else, but it had everything to do with Brandy. I don't think he wanted to have any type of video evidence, but there's no denying the sexual chemistry that there is between him and Kayla. In fact, if you listen to what Kayla said right there, she's like, yo, we'll basically link up later on after everybody's left, meaning after the camera crews are left. So I don't know what the extent of their relationship, their conversation, whatever it may be, but all of that he just did was essentially for show, so that way maybe he's looking down the line, maybe he's thinking ahead, maybe he really is trying to pursue something with Brandy. I don't know, but all of that show was essentially for Brandy's sake.
Setting it up, I thought it'd be something fun to do. Thanks a lot, man. All right. I invited Katie and Swayze, Mike, Charisse, and Trinika.
Hello, party people!
I mean, damn, how many does he own? Yo, man, this dude must really own some stock in Fruit of the Loom or Hanes or Champion or something, because how many tank tops does my man wear? I know I'm being a bit silly with it, but I'm just like, I want y'all to go back and look at previous episodes, but that tank top is a part of his wardrobe, and not only does it match, it matches to the shade, the color of whatever it is he's wearing. It is a complete color match. I'm impressed, I ain't even gonna lie.
What's the most romantic thing you've ever done for a woman?
I took my girlfriend to Paris.
Okay.
And I booked a table in the Eiffel Tower at sunset.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a good memory.
God damn, wait a minute, bro. A table on the Eiffel Tower in Paris at sunset? Shit. Again, I can't put my finger. Let me stop. That is a huge gesture for someone that was just his girlfriend. Obviously, there are levels to girlfriend, levels to the relationship, but if you call someone your girlfriend as opposed to your fiance or as opposed to your wife, I don't know, y'all. Something about the Eiffel Tower in that setting, that's like some proposal type shit or some 10-year anniversary. I don't know his pockets, obviously. So if he's got the bread like that, then cool, run it. That could be just like him going to Benihana or something. I don't know. But that is a huge gesture, especially when it comes to, on the romantic scale. That's a lot.
You never answered my question.
What you mean?
What do you like about me?
I like your personality.
Mm-hmm.
You're beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You're always eating. What? You do what I like. You got a head on your shoulder?
Mm-hmm.
You talk too much. You do?
No.
There's something about asking somebody why they like you. To me, it feels almost like somebody asking you for a compliment or somebody asking for some kind of validation. It's just a little weird to me. Now, I get it. You want to know, okay, what is it that you like? What are the things that are, that are attracting you to me? But it's just one of those things. If you got to ask, then something's wrong. If that person is attracted to you and they're gonna be like, hey, I like this. I like that about you. Now I get it. Swayze may not be the most vocal when it comes to those kind of things, and she has to pull it out of him. But again, it's just kind of weird just asking that question. So what do you like about me?
Here's something we haven't talked about. What does your ideal situation mean that you have an 8-year-old? What does that look like?
And we just dating, because I don't go introducing my daughter to people. But if we, like, my real girlfriend, this would be the second person she ever met.
What do you feel like you went wrong in your last relationship that you could have done better?
Maybe talk about feelings more.
I do appreciate her asking those questions, because if you are dating someone with intention and they have a child, then that is a huge thing for both of you to take into consideration, because not only are you dating, just to get to know them, you're also auditioning to be a step parent. And keep in mind as well, that child has a mother, that child has an extended family, that child has a father, whatever the dynamic may be. And now there's other step parents, and it's a lot of moving parts. So if you don't have those conversations when it comes to their children, when it comes to how they raise their children, when it comes to what kind of relationship do you have with the child's mother, the child's father, whatever, if you don't have those questions early, have them often to make sure that y'all are on the same page, it's going to lead to problems later on. And I appreciate the fact that she's raising those questions now, asking those questions, having that conversation. I don't think I necessarily would have had it in a skating rink, but whatever, as long as you had the conversation, I guess.
Why?
Because my job.
So you bring your job at home?
I try not to.
Me and Katie, we do have like a lot of flirtatious energy, but it's a lot of stuff we talk about that was more serious. I just don't open up to anybody and just go talking and doing all that. However, I'm more open to Katie.
Like I said earlier, Swayze's not necessarily the most vocal, I guess, when it comes to certain things. He'll talk, but I think that when it comes to things within him, maybe he's not the most vocal. However, Kadian is able to pull certain things out of him, and I can understand why he's attracted to her for that. There's a certain comfort level that she gives him to where he can talk about the things, that are important to him, and more importantly, the things that are important to her, which is why she's asking those questions in the first place. Not a lot of people connect with others, and they may give you surface level answers. They know how to keep you at a distance. But if Kadian and Swayze have that kind of connection to where she's asking him those questions and he feels comfortable enough to answer them, that's a good sign for them and their relationship.
I'm not sure if everybody here for the right reason. I'm not sure if everybody committed to the process. Because you already know I done heard some things. So let's be real. Realer than you've ever been. Because if we're going to find love, we got to learn to accept facts the way other people see them.
What the hell does that have to do with being ready to love? What does any of this have to do with being ready to love? I get it. All them people ain't going to get along. You take a whole bunch of strangers, throw them together. Not everybody's going to get along. In fact, that's kind of sort of the purpose of the show, as to where, okay, I don't get along with you. There's no connection, but I do get along with you. There is a connection. Let's see if we can strengthen that connection. They're not there to like each other. They're not there, that's not the purpose of them getting together. And I don't understand why all of them need to be there to, quote unquote, air their grievances. That's just some reality show nonsense.
Who want to talk first about the BS?
Rah, rah. I don't know if you are playing the field, if you are playing both sides. I know that you are very intentional when it comes to me, but at some point you got to say what you need to say to all the women here that may have a connection with you.
There are a few things I don't like, and one of those are public engagements. That is when a man proposes to a woman in a public space, because there's something compulsory about it to where if she doesn't answer it, now he looks like a jackass, and she doesn't want to say no to hurt his feelings, but she really don't want to marry him. He knows that, so he's proposing in public because he's trying to force her to say yes, or he's asking that question in front of friends and family because there's that pressure for her to say yes. I felt the same thing right there when Jamala asked Randall that question in public. If he wants to make that decision, he'll make it. Obviously, he does need to make the decision, but he'll make it in due time. If he ain't ready to make it, you asking him that question right then in public is not going to force him to do so. And if he does make a decision because he's forced into it, because his back is against the wall and people are looking, that ain't a decision that's going to last long term.
I was betrayed, and so I had to take a step back from all of you.
Well, is it me?
Is it you?
No, I'm asking you.
What we're not gonna do is play games.
Lordy, I felt so betrayed, my Lord. I am not minimizing her trauma. Her pain is her pain, and I get it. She went through a lot of traumatic things, and as such, she still is dealing with that trauma. However, there gets to be a point to where it can be a bit much, and now it's borderline childish at this point. I don't want to minimize her trauma. Let me not make jokes about. I'm gonna make these jokes. I'm just saying, I get it. I understand that she went through some stuff, but come on, man. At this point, if you know that you're not comfortable there, leave.
The dinner, it was more than what I expected.
I think Sway think I got the cooties. I text and that ass gets ignored, okay?
Kay, you know you're my girl, because you spicy like me. We fight like sisters already.
Kayla, am I right? On my pronunciation.
The shade.
But see, this is what you got to deal with.
That was essentially the reunion special in the middle of the season, because airing out grievances and all that, I don't understand what the purpose of that was. What did that serve about everybody saying this and that? Each one of those adults could have had individual private conversations. Jamala could have went to Random, be like, hey man, I'm feeling you. I know you're feeling me. I need for you to make a decision because it would really help me. Whatever her reasons are for that. But to do it publicly, I don't get it. And now everybody's sniping at each other. That's just some messy shit. What was the purpose of that? Made for good reality TV. That was a lot of drama, a lot of but how the hell does that make any of those people ready to love?
I feel like you want me to show you, but you don't want to show me. There's so many things that happened the other night where I want to feel reciprocity, regardless of your other connections.
When Kayla gets to Mike, I'm sitting here thinking in my head, like, what are we at, a wedding? What do they say? If anybody objects, I object.
I pride myself on being observant and being able to read people, being able to read situations, but for the life of me, I don't understand what the hell Mike was just doing right there. I thought when he asked her to stand up, maybe he wanted to get a look at those supple yams that she possessed. Or afterwards, when he stood up, I thought he was about to square up. I thought they were going to start boxing for a second there. I don't understand what he was trying to do. I don't know what his end game was in the moment. I see what Brandy was talking about when she's like, yo, is this where I'm supposed to be like, I object? I don't understand what that brother was trying to accomplish in that moment. If y'all get it, if y'all see something that I obviously missed, please let me know in the comment section. I just need to know, because I am so confused as to what the hell it was he was trying to do.
The fellows met with Tommy. Based on these deliberations, there were two particular ladies that we wanted to provide some constructive criticism to. Sharice, Shakira.
We are down to eliminations, and the two that are up are Sharice and Shakira. I am cool with either one of them. In fact, they both could go, because I know that there's a lot, especially Shakira, that she's dealing with when it comes to her trauma. There's a lot of work that she has to do. And you have Sharice, this is her third elimination. So if she's gotten to this point to where the men are still like, yeah, she can leave, then she really doesn't have any real connections, because at the end of the day, she really is unlikable. It's not that they're intimidated by her. She's just not a likable person, both by the women and more especially by the men.
So based on the conversations that the fellas had, we felt the person that is not ready to love tonight is Shakira. Your process has to come to an end.
And with that, Shakira's journey has come to an end. She has a lot of work to do. She is a beautiful woman, has a beautiful spirit. However, again, there's a lot of trauma, a lot of things that she still has yet to deal with, a lot of things she has to work on before she's truly ready to love and open to that whole dating process, to where she doesn't break down in tears because she, has essentially a flashback as far as something that happened in her past. Now, speaking of the past, let's talk about the future. Tomorrow, on the next episode of the CM show, didn't get to do it last week, so we're going to do it this week. The conversation is flued out. Now, yes, there are rules to flying somebody out, to getting flued out yourself, but we're not just going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about long distance relationships as well. We live in a smaller world, as it were, to where, it used to be, you'd have to get on a Greyhound and take a 20-day trip just to get across the country. Now there's Spirit Flight Away. Anyway, so flying out, long distance relationships, all of that. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow on the next episode of the CM Show. Not sure if we're going to do a Free-for-all Friday this week. Probably will, just not sure just yet. Working on the co-host, working on a few details. Plus, it's a holiday week. I want to do it, but make sure if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get a notification when I do go live for that. In the meantime, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you follow me on my social media. I do live tweet throughout each episode of the Ready to Love show. So follow me on Twitter at author_Chris M. You can also follow me on Facebook at author Christopher Markland. And you can follow me on Instagram at Christopher_Markland. As I mentioned earlier, I am an author. You can purchase my books below in the description section. And that's it, y'all. Y'all tell me what you think. Do you think that maybe Sharice should have went home instead of Shakira? What do you think about just Shakira as a whole? What do you feel about the whole airing of grievances and all of that? Do you think that it was necessary? Do you think it was a good thing? Y'all let me know what you think. Y'all, again, I appreciate y'all watching this. Appreciate y'all joining me each and every week. Y'all have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your Labor Day. Have a good one. Stay determined.